We're live this afternoon. I'm bringing Catherine. We're coming back with Catherine. Everybody enjoyed our chat last time. And I'm in Mexico. Catherine is in Canada. So we're sandwiching all of you watching from United States. So
Yeah.
how are you
We
doing,
want
Catherine?
to ask the people if they want this to be a weekly thing. This would be a good time slot for us on Mondays this time to set it up to make it a recurrent affair.
Yeah.
We like that name. I don't know. But it's affair like in business, a recurrent business.
Yes, I would
So
like that.
I wanted to share with you something that happened this morning as an icebreaker. I was taking my my morning walk when I have my. I consider this little time buffer on Mondays and also on Wednesdays is my self care days, my self care blocks of time. The same thing as the Saturday morning.
Yep.
I never knew how important for me was self care because being an overachiever, coming from the system, family system that I'm coming from, where self sacrifice is rewarded and self care is penalized and seen as selfish, you know, you're not generous enough. Oh, no, you should be doing other things, productive things. I just being, I changed my life. And also, it helped me to have the purpose factor assessment
Hmm.
to realize that there was a blind spot. So now that I'm doing that, I have discovered a world of creativity within me. I knew I was creative, but I never knew how many ideas I could have of stories. And, the little stories when I was younger will come back to me now. And I'm just storytelling, getting them transcribed and getting some little projects. But that's just part of my self care,
So what was
and
the blind spot? Tell me more about the blind spot.
oh, the blind spot is that I didn't self care. It's not in
Oh,
my family culture and it's not perceived as a good thing and it's seen as selfish.
this light is shining on me too much.
So
Um,
I was not taking care of myself. I wasn't going. I knew about exercise, but it was I would feel guilty afterwards. It's a family program because I had so many things to do, and well, I was going to as I'm talking. This is a side story that I'm talking about why I do the self care because of the discovery of that it was a blind spot for me and that I needed to invest in myself to feel better. And that gave me an emotional buffer. Now, when people are toxic or bad towards me, for the first time in my life, I can stop and think when before I was just reactive. I would just blow my top, blow my top, blow my top. And there's nothing I could do about it. And people say, well, just take a deep breath and don't react. And like, I didn't know how. And I didn't know that it was because I didn't have self care. I didn't have that softness to be able to buffer that triggering
mhm.
event. There was no such thing. And I discovered that self care gave me the buffer of tenderness where I could just be, instead of being here in anxiety all the time, all the time, all the time, my nervous system came to relaxed.
So important.
And then when people try to trigger me, okay, it does trigger me, but I go like, wait a minute, Baba. It's like I can. My frontal vortex can now act because I am not in survival anxiety mode here anymore.
Yes.
And I didn't know that that was my normal. I didn't know
Mhm.
because I grew up in that go 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 now 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 now, and it's like expectations, and you need to fulfill them, else guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip. And for me, that was normal. That was life. There was no other way around it. And this is the way that I also treated myself because that was love.
Right. Yeah.
That's the environment I grew on in. That's how the world works because that's my world in my upbringing. It is expected of you because you're the eldest. It is expected of you. There's no negotiations and there's no other options. And there's no buffer to think this is not normal. This is no steps back because you're constantly bombarded by the demands of the system. It's a
Right.
family system.
Right. It's a culture issue too, and it's not just because you came from a Mexican culture, so it's not just Americans, but Americans are. It's definitely American culture, but
It's a continent's culture.
yeah, yes. And
It's a
now the crazy thing is, now that we have all this technology that should give us free time, it just pushed us more to say, okay, now you have the technology to help. You can do
faster.
10 times more. So go, go, go. It is so unhealthy.
Yeah.
I was guilty too. I was guilty of it until my body crashed. And I know that that was a huge contributor. Absolutely.
So far in my life, I've had a major burnout. And I
Yeah.
was 23 years old
Hmm.
when that happened. And then I was about to burn out. But then I discovered self care, and that changed my life. Just a minute. Honey, can you eat upstairs? I'm on my call here. Thank you, honey. Lovely. Mwah. It's my kid. A 16-year-old. I just so this
Yeah.
is a
I don't think
zero
I even
note.
it. It's good that you discovered it because I think for me, it took the full blown crash. And I remember my chiropractor saying, you know how, and this was after when I was getting sick with Lyme disease and I had a car accident. And he said, you know how you just always conquer everything. And it was after the car accident, I was laying there at his table. And he said, you know how you always conquer everything and you just go and you get through everything. And I said, yeah, because I was so proud of it. He said, it's not going to work. You're going to have to sleep 18 hours a day. And I'm like, well, that is not possible. I have 4 children. I have a job. And he's like, honey, it's not going to work because if you don't stop and rest 18 hours a day, you're going to be resting 24 hours a day. And, it was sad because that's exactly what happened for a decade, a decade. So it's when I see people doing that, because I was very proud of myself trying to be
Yeah, it
superwoman. I
makes me
was like,
proud.
I'm going to rest when it's my rest and peace time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to rest. I can do all this. I've got 4 kids. I got my job. I got my nonprofit. I've got all these things and I can do it. Just need a little bit more coffee. And I see women doing that now and I can cry for them because it's like you can do that for a while and you live on adrenaline until your adrenals say, no more. I'm
They
done.
quit on you.
Yeah.
They'll quit on you.
And it's nothing to be proud of. It's nothing to be
No.
proud of. Those of us, we usually figure it out, around, well, you figured it out early. Learn self care, learn to rest because our bodies need it. And if you just ignore that natural, natural necessity to rest and take care of yourself, because people said it to me all the time, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. And I'm like, I'm special. I'm so
But
special. I don't need that. I'm different. I can go, go, go. And
and
everybody
it's not. It's not it. It's just the song this killing me softly. This is killing you fast track.
right.
It's being
It's
a
really
bad steward, bad girl. Yeah, this
right.
is your vehicle. Okay, it is like a car. Run it without oil.
Yeah,
Run it without gas. Run it on fumes.
right. Exactly.
It's this is a vehicle, and it's not selfish. If you take care of yourself, you become more productive because things are going to flow through you better. And things
Absolutely.
that are difficult are going to become easier because now your brain is going to work better.
Right.
So it's not
We
going
were
to be tough, tough, tough. It's going to be nice and smooth, slow and steady, and all of a sudden, little moments of acceleration that are going to catapult you even faster if you go slowly.
right. Yeah.
So
So,
in this walk, I always, those walks are amazing moments. Today, I happened to cross the paths with two neighbors of the next street. One is a teacher. There's a college just nearby. It's like 2 kilometers from where I was walking. So he likes walking every morning to and fro from school because he lives 2 kilometers. Yeah, it's a good walk. It's like a 1.5 kilometers away from the college. And I said, "Oh, what are you a professor of?" And he says, "Math and physics." Oh, I need to come back to this person because I love talking to intellectuals. So part of my self-care of an extrovert is to have positive social interactions. So when I see that people have that open, a yes face, like the yes vibe, we call it the yes vibe, but in Christians, we know it's like they have a gentle soul, the eyes, the gentleness in the eyes, in the hello. That hello with an open hand will tell you, yes, that the person is open for conversation. And at the same time, I was passing another neighbor that I have crossed paths with. He has a little dog, adorable little dog, and well, finally get to have a conversation, and we couldn't leave the conversation because it was so good. We're talking about what he does for a living, what I am doing right now, and we came back to the topic of purpose many times. Um, he comes from that system that is so toxic that we come from as well. That at the same time, is honor and love cover multitude of sins. So I don't like displaying details about it. Neither about his life. I believe in privacy, but we all have that. Whomever comes from these systems, we know exactly what we're talking about. It is a system that destroys your identity through micro trauma, through a place where, as a child, you don't feel safe because it is inconsistent care. One day is all you feel safe, you're cared for, and another day it's like,
Right. Walking on eggshells. Yeah.
yeah, or dumped or completely neglected for whatever circumstance. It could be something external that will have happened to that caregiver to behave that way, or their own childhood trauma, whatever the circumstance. That the thing is that there was no consistency.
Right.
And how individuals like us that went through that system as a young children, either we break or we overcompensate,
Right.
right? Because we become parentified. We become
Yeah.
the guardians of the peace. We
Right.
become that kind of person that others would lay on and rely on,
Right.
would
Because we
trust
always
for.
want to give what we feel we're lacking is what we always are seeking and what we feel we need to give to everyone else because we lack that.
We become
Right.
organized. We become overachievers in whatever we do. And for me to learn to let go of that, not right now that I see my living room being so messy and say, okay, I have kids and this is a house and it's been lived in. Breathe.
Right.
Because today is my self care day, and part of self care is also choring. But today I had other priorities, and discovering that conversation was amazing. To have that positive social interaction where we both felt validated. It's so important.
Yeah.
And he told me that part of his breakthrough was to have an ear, to have someone that could hear him. And I said, that's such a major thing. When we're talking about in the book, is having a board of directors, is having at least 3 people that
Yeah.
could lend you an ear and that will accept you and love you, regardless of how disgustingly ugly the situation is and how yucky you feel about yourself. The good,
Right.
the bad, and the ugly, this person will not judge you, will just validate you.
Right.
And that's what helped him out of his situation. And it ties all of that into community and purpose and what we're building through these tools and the healing that we want to bring to people through the book that is in the pipeline. By the way, I have
Mhm.
edited the three first chapters. Yay! And in how we're designing, because you have done it with so many people throughout the years, but how we're making it in such a way that it can impact more people
Mhm.
into building communities to say you're not alone. What everything in this system is designed to pull us apart, to isolate us.
Right. Yeah, right. Isolation has been, I think, of the in the last uh, at least 5 years, if not 10 years, has been the main thing that's been happening, especially
Mm,
with technology. People are so isolated, and then they think that they're going to do everything alone, take the technology, and I embraced it because I'm introverted. Now you're very extroverted, so we're different. I don't
mm.
need people as much, but what happens is I went for, oh great, I don't need people at all, and that is not how anybody is created. Is
It's a
very
trap.
unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. Yes, and for introverted people, I can say, if we get into that where I don't need to talk to anyone at all, and we go for that, it will
Mm,
ruin you. And that's where I finally, after being a decade pretty much isolated because I wasn't well, now trying to realize that's not healthy, and because you cannot have purpose by yourself, because our purpose is not for ourselves. Now, you can find some passion doing some art and some different things, but you will never be fulfilled by yourself because you're not making a difference to anybody else. That's why
mm,
I started to think, all right, I don't think I can even heal if I don't get out and have some purpose and make a difference. Now, I
mhm.
was making a difference in ways of, I kept the nonprofit going through other people, and I encouraged other people through sickness privately. So it wasn't like I was doing nothing, but I had to realize you really need to, the more you can make a difference with other people, that is healing. That is, it's so important, even for an introvert, to connect,
Mhm.
to make connections. And we have to find people, everyone's going to be different. You're going to need different people that don't drain you. And for me too, I need to talk to people, why I like talking to you, with really high intellectual energies, who talk fast, who have, I can learn something. I need that. Some people would not like that at all. They want to relax. They don't want to talk about, statistics and learn new things. They've been working all day. They just want to talk about, I don't know. I know what a lot of people talk about, like something on TV or clothing or something. For me, no. And I'm not
Mhm.
judging because we're different. I have my friends, my husband will notice, man, you talked to her, you went for lunch for 2 hours. And I have a girlfriend here that we talk fast, we overlap, we go, because we exchange a lot of information, we learn from each other. And he said, you're not even tired. And I
No,
am shocked because I'll hear you and you guys talk so fast. You don't finish conversations and you go. And I
I
feel
do.
energized from this person. So you learn. Meanwhile, else who talks slow, but I feel like I have to slow down. I have to be very careful how I speak. He's always telling me, finish your sentence, Julie, finish your sentence. And for me, that's exhausting. So I finally have realized I have to find people that, and it's not a judgment on anyone, but that for me, I can be myself. I don't have to finish my sentence. I can talk fast, exchange information, and that give me energy. I need that. That's for me.
Self-care.
So, yeah, and that is what we have to really get to the point where you find the people that you're going to connect with for your friendships. It doesn't mean that's not who you're going to serve and help. You can help everybody, but the people that are going to be your core people that you're going to enjoy and
Yeah.
and have conversation with and have that fellowship with. You have to find the people that when I know the women I used to talked to many years ago when I was a young mom, I would come home and just be exhausted and nothing against them, but I would
Uh,
be drained because I wasn't being myself because they probably wouldn't have appreciated me. And I had to try to fit them. And that's just don't put a lot of time there. We just can't do that. You have to find your people.
yes. And for example, for me, small talk is exhausting.
Oh,
It's
can't,
ex- I
can't do
just
it.
and
I cannot
did
do
you
it.
notice that it's very rare that I would say in the text, "Hello, Julie." I would just go
No,
right to the where we left.
I know. Yes.
I
I
love it. You're
I
my
just
kind of
don't.
girl.
Yes, where others will think that's very rude.
Exactly.
I've
Just,
had people correct me like, good morning. And I'm like, oh, sorry. How
oh
are
yeah,
you? Good
that's
morning. How is
true.
everybody? How is your family? Because
But to
that's for
me, that tells me the level of relationship that we have now.
right.
Because I would say good morning to acquaintances, to like people that I haven't talked to in a long time. But when I can
Right.
come back to a conversation directly addressing you, I know that my brain says, "This is my girl. This is my safe space. This
Right.
is my friend."
Just
And
dive in.
immediately, I don't think about the protocol and the possible offense.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing for people that are like us, a little bit neuro out of the
Neurodivergent.
box.
I prefer
We call it
spicy because I think it's
spicy, neurospicy,
I
that we can
enjoy
flow in many levels of conversation at the same time and retake, and we know what we're talking about. And people are like, "What in the world is happening here?" And we both understand each other, which is very
when my
good at saying,
husband observed he's like you guys drive me crazy like you didn't finish
"Yeah,
anything you're I didn't get anything out of that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, we did, so don't
we
worry
don't need
about
to
it. That
finish
was
it
my
because
daughter.
we were just leaving it as a cliffhanger for the next time."
Yeah, we'll
It's
pick it up. I'm like, it's important.
yes, and
You'll come
you
back.
need buffer to
Yeah.
you know you need the
Yeah.
buffer to think about what is not finished. You don't need to finish it. It's like it's a good series of a novel. You don't want it to finish, so your
Yes.
brain goes into, "I'm gonna reflect on these things," and then eventually they'll come back in the next conversation, and it's gonna be like a yummy Korean drama.
Yeah, people who are that way you must have friends that are that way so you can just feel energized. And if that really drives you crazy, you can love that person, but you don't need to have long conversations with them. You should just find those people that if you want to have a very slow surface, small talky conversation, go for it. But don't call me.
Enjoy. You need to
I
find
love
your
doing
herd.
factor. Yeah, I love doing the assessments. The first factor. Let's dive in. What is your purpose? What makes you tick? I want to know it all. If I go to dinner with if my husband wants to go with his friends and people that I don't really know, and I'm going to meet people, it's fine. It's okay. But I'm like, oh, here we go. How many kids do you have? Where are you from? What did you do? It's like, oh, it's like I'm like, honey, can you just like I don't. It's
Well,
to me, it's super boring. Like I don't.
or
Do you care?
yeah,
You
it
don't
reminds
really,
me.
really.
It reminds me of the conversations we have about our kids. Hey, what kind of personality were the type we were thinking of? About what is your first, your eldest kid? And now we're talking. Yeah, she's an introvert, but she's outgoing and this thing. Do you think she may be like an INTP? And we're talking about more psychology, more in depth
Yeah.
of who they are, and what is their purpose? Because I really wanted my daughter to take that assessment. And when she took that assessment, it's like I knew all this about me because she saw insightful. She's more insightful than me. She surpasses me in everything intellectual that you can imagine, and that's her skill.
Intellectual
And
energy.
yes, and she's a teacher.
That's what I have too.
And
Not teacher, but
no,
skill.
but she's a teacher, so she goes down the rabbit hole. And at 16, she comes up. It's like, are you kidding me? What you're telling me is actually truth. And she will come up with all kinds of information that will like, especially the ones that seem to be like a story or not real. And then you look at the facts, and wow, she actually did her research.
Yeah,
She
when I
is a
first met
teacher,
her, we had a great talk the first time
loves
around the
details,
fire. We just were like, this girl's special. We just chatted and chatted.
loves details to the point of being, you know, I feel sometimes like it is too much detail. And I think you have that in common because you being a builder and being a recruiter. We're like, go, 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 big
Yeah,
picture.
you're like big
Not that
picture
the
brain.
details are not
And
important, but
I
let's
love,
delegate it to other people. We don't like, keep the details. I don't want to
yeah,
deal with it. Yeah,
there to
paperwork. Yuck, yuck,
yeah,
yuck, yuck. Yucca,
the teacher
yucca, yucca. Oh, you need to fill up this form and apply.
yeah, I don't like that part. But
Did you do that
I
for
see
me?
details. I want someone to carry out the detail. I mean, but I notice them. And if someone can't come along, what I need is a teacher to come along and execute the details because I'm going to notice the details and I want to share the details, but I need someone to actually carry them out once I've come up with the details. But then to do it day after day is not for me. I need someone
And
to take it from there.
teachers are okay when there is app actualizations.
Mhm.
The phone actualizations. Finally, as a recruiter or as a builder, you finally
Mhm.
figure out the phone. And there they come the developers making it better. But it actually makes it worse. Because finally this you got a hand of that thing after experience and trial and error. And they just pull the rug under you.
Well,
I
that's because
with
that's the
all of my heart.
the builders do is they would want to re-innovate. So if we don't do something new, that's where what I do too. I like to innovate and make things better. If I don't do something new, how can we make this better
As
and change? And you probably don't like
as
change
as long as it
much.
is your baby, because when it demands an application and it's somebody else's baby, and they make you jump to more hoops that you weren't expected, it will drive you crazy as well. So you builders can make each other crazy, especially when you're talking about filing,
Yeah.
right? Information. Hmm. I
This
detest
is
it.
why it's so helpful for relationships too, because my husband is an overseer and he doesn't like chaos. And when we re-innovate things, we builders, or reinvent,
Oh,
he's like, hold on, this is going to create
it
chaos.
ain't broken.
And he's also a protector. So he's like, really, I
Oh
just
my
want things.
gosh.
You don't need to change it. It's not broken. And I'm like, but it could be better. And I don't care if it's gonna it's like remodeling the house. Tear out the walls. We can do it better. It's worth it. Mess it up. And no, 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 it's not broken. Leave it
Chaos.
alone.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I have,
yeah. Oh,
so it's not
hey,
just business.
opposites attract.
Well, yes, they
In
do.
that case, you and Eric, with him being so structurized and a protector and a overseer, and you being a builder, I think you're intellectual as well.
Yeah, intellectual skill set, and that's
Ouch,
where
ouch, ouch, ouch. That spicy relationship right there, Julie. Oh, very
very
interesting.
we're a very good team in that way, but it is exactly true. What attracts you is what will drive you crazy later because it is what I believe what God puts you together for. Because if you had two people with the exact same, it's just like building a team. If we were exactly the same, we'd be lacking. But we do perfectly complement each other. But the exact things like him trying to keep the chaos down and protect me is exactly I'm like, stop popping my bubbles, get out of my way. I'm trying to do something new. This needs to be better. And he's like, you need to chill out because it's just fine the way it is, and you're making a big mess, you're making chaos. Now you're too tired, you need to settle down, leave it alone. But but when you understand that about each other, you understand, okay, he's just working in his gifting. So don't be mad. Understand he's doing this to protect. He's doing this to avoid chaos. And so now he's approaching me in a different way that is helpful. And I'm approaching him in a different way and understanding each other. And he's saying, hey, honey, could I help you out with prioritizing and maybe helping you diversify, like make a schedule. And I'm like, that is so much better than saying, you're taking on too much. And he's like, maybe we could just go over how you could prioritize what's most important right now. And I'm like, all right, that's more helpful.
Yeah.
So it's every couple should take this assessment because it helps to understand, and it's helped me to understand while I'm in I love things tidy. I love it. I prefer things really clean. But I admit, when I get into creating, I will not see the pile because I'm overridden by the new projects, and I'll take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah, creativity is messy.
Oh yeah, creativity is messy. And so I've been working really hard because that bothers him. And so I've been trying to, in the morning, get things tidy, tidying up areas. It's actually taken quite a bit of time because I have a lot of areas, like some areas like the living room and kitchen, we keep clean, but I have my little places. And it's embarrassing to him and it's stressful. So I get it now. Okay, he's gonna be more stressed out with me if I don't meet the needs.
It's a need.
Yeah, it's a need for him to have things in order.
Yes.
So every day I try to do that first because I don't want to do it. So first I try to let's get things in order. And for myself, check your emails, Julie, because I could just let them go for a week. Like, do the things you need to do the things you don't want to do first, which is always good for everybody. Make him calm. And it's been better for both of us. Because we can't just learn about who we are. We don't live in a bubble. You can't just say, well, that's the way I am. That's just the way I am. Because everybody around you is affected. You have to say, okay, this is the way I am. But how can
you could have the perfect ecosystem of one.
Right.
But
you'll
then
be alone.
No growth.
Right. If you do that and say, it's just the way I am, it's just my purpose, it's my temperament, get used to it, you will be a lonely person. Because in that, you can explain, this is the way I am, but how can I also make it peaceful and accommodate to you? How can we find the middle ground here and understand why you are how you are, but how can I,
What are your blind spots?
Right.
Where your blind spots
and frustration down to see people that frustrate me. It's usually because their purpose is very different than mine, and you want to think like, why do you do this? Why are you not like this? Why do you not care about this? Because they have a very different purpose, and their brain does not function the same way. And now it's like, well, of course they're not thinking like me because they're not supposed to. They're not.
And it's okay. Let them go. They're not your herd. And you don't need to feel animosity against them whatsoever. It's just that their role in the world is different.
Right. Yeah, it's really cool. I always knew I was different, and I always I struggled a lot with it as a teen and a young girl, thinking I was very weird because I am very different. But once I understood that I am more rare, I realized that's okay. Now I get it. It's not that people don't like me; they just don't really understand me, and that's okay. And that helped me, just knowing that, and knowing we must all come to the point where we realize you cannot please everyone. You will never please everyone. Making any attempt to please everyone will always fail. So just don't. Just don't even try.
Well, if you try, you'll lose yourself because it's no longer you. It's a facade adapted to every kind of situation and social interaction that is different. So you lose your authentic self, and that's draining. That's
Right.
draining. Your essence is gone, and you steal the world from the light that is inside of you. What is placed inside of you to make this world a better world is gone upon
Yes.
people pleasing. Now we're talking about people pleasing. Oh, we can come back to what we were thinking of sharing in the first place. You look at that beautiful rabbit hole we talk about
Yeah.
purpose and how we're
Right.
talking about that system. So we're talking people pleasing is one of the downfalls of one of the archetypes,
Right.
the truth teller. I don't know personally that if I have a truth teller near me.
Oh, I have
My
before.
daughter almost was a truth teller.
You have a lot of that in you. You have a lot of truth teller in you. I mean, we all come out. I can see in me too quite a bit of teacher, a little bit of teacher, a lot.
Yes.
The assessment doesn't show you the range, so you can see different things in you. Like I showed up as discernment as the highest
Mm-hmm.
overcoming skill, but I know I have a lot of. What am I thinking?
May I
What is
pause my
your?
video a little bit and I continue to hear you about the discernment?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So the our overcoming strengths are based on things that we overcame. So when we overcome difficult things, that gives us strength. Some of them are just inborn, it's just the way our Father made us. But some actually come from hard things that you overcome. For example, if you go through a lot of betrayal, you become very discerning because it's a protective instinct you develop. If you overcome a lot of uh, rejection, you develop a lot of empathy. So I showed up as a discerning strength that was higher, but I also have a lot of empathy. And rejection is the most common thing that people overcome. And so a lot of that is what gives people empathy, which is very good. So just because you show up as one in an assessment, it doesn't say that like empathy is not right below it. I mean, and you can read the assessment gives you all of the other various overcoming strengths so that you can look and say, yeah, I also have that overcoming strength. If you overcame a lot, you probably have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
overcoming strengths.
Yes.
Yeah, and read all of those different blind spots that you
And
can
I can
have.
see the teacher nerd in you there that showed up in your assessment as an intellectual,
Yeah, the
right?
intellectual skill set. Yeah, that showed up as a skill set. So that which a skill set is what you learn. It's something that you went to school for or that you studied on your own. So that showed up as because I love that because I
It's
always tell
it's
people nerdy by nature. I love nerdy things and that's why I love hanging out with you and talking to you because I love to talk about when I started bringing up topics and you're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I told it my husband, I'm like, she knows about things that nobody knows about because when I bring up certain topics, usually people say, what are you talking about? And she knows. I have several friends like that are um, want to talk about those things where other people would be completely bored and be not wanting to talk about
yeah.
it. But I love talking about nerdy things, spiritual
Yes, yes.
things too, not just nerdy, but where most people are like, why are you talking about the Nephilim? Like, we don't want to talk about that, Julie. Why are you talking about that? And it's because it's very
It's so
interesting to me.
relevant for this time if they only knew. The thing
Yeah.
is
But
that
not
it's
everyone is interested in that.
something positive that I must recognize from my family culture throughout the generations is that we were, through generations, intellectuals.
Mhm.
People that seek cultivation, that read a lot, that we
Mhm.
read a lot, and we go down the rabbit holes because we're naturally curious. And
And
that's a
see that
really good strength.
that can be from uh, the intellectual. Well, that can be from what was that under? I just said this skill set because if you learned it, because you observed that behavior of reading, and so you learned that from education, which is from reading. Even if you didn't go to school for those things, you developed a habit of reading a lot. And people that read a lot, we like to share what we read. I don't want to just read it and then just keep it to myself. I want to talk about it. And
Yes,
people
and to discuss it and to pull it
talk about it.
apart in little pieces
Yeah,
and put it back together again, and it's fun.
right. People that don't read or they read different kinds of books. I don't read fiction almost
Oh,
never. I'm starting to for relaxation a little bit, but I love to devour books that I can learn from.
mhm.
And what are you gonna do? You want to share, so you must have those
Yeah.
people. If you now it's so easy with social media, you can find people that watching a podcast or a live like this, you can find people that you jive with now. So nobody has any excuse for not finding their people, even if you're not like we said, you're in Canada, I'm in Mexico, we're like a whole country apart, but you can find people that are interested in the same things.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
very easy to find people that stimulate your mind the way that
You know
you
what really
are.
surprised me in my assessment was my skill set, because I thought that it was going to be like intellectual. Like it makes sense. No.
Which you are.
Yes, I am.
You have that, but higher
It was under my
was.
nose all this time, and because I didn't go to for school for it, nor I ever took
Mhm.
a course on it. Nothing. I was. I don't know why it shows up as a skill set.
What?
Messenger.
Oh, I thought it was craftsman.
And
No, I
I'm
forgot what it
ranking
was.
high on that too, because everything I create, I don't I didn't take art courses except a little bit on high school, but it was part of the curriculum. But I never took anything, and I was doodling the other day, and those are my doodles.
Oh, cute.
Isn't that
It.
cute? And
So
yeah, just
relaxing.
relaxing, doing. Here's a bonhomme for a story that I wrote.
Oh, that's so cute. You sent me that, but I'm sorry to say, I thought it was your daughter.
No, it's a doodle that I made.
We have to. Those would be so. We do need to do children's books.
Yes.
See, we always have so many.
So it's because I have the stories, and I have the transcript, and I have the recording.
Mhm.
So what I need to figure out is when I have the story with the images, the to take the
Yeah,
recording and then have it cut to the recording and add the ding and the flip page,
I can do
ding and the
that. The nerdy part.
because
Yeah.
then it helps for literacy. And I'm doing it in the other story, the story about the ladybug. Actually, I already did the ladybug. Goes, it's in French
Mhm.
because Ontario is bilingual. Canada is bilingual. So I'm tapping two
Books
markets
are
at the same
so neat.
time, and I want to make both stories, all the stories in English and French, for literacy.
I love
And that's a
it.
relax
Yes.
for me. It's a relaxed thing. It's not my business. This is just I want to
Yeah.
monetize something that stories that I have told my kids before bed, and I share them at the library, and they said we love them, and if you have their books, we'll order them because we love
That's the thing
local
we do
artists.
for relax. Yeah. If they sell and you make money, it's just a side effect. Like I design little clothes and stuff and put them on
Mhm.
Etsy. And I mostly just do it because I want it. I want that dress and I can't find it. And I make it for myself. And I think, oh, well, I'll put them out there. And I'll make like, I don't know, $100 in a month. It's not a lot, but I think, well, I'm not spending money to make it. I created
It's
it. They're cute. And if I don't sell, I don't care. I made it for myself.
yeah,
I like
yeah, and it's
it.
for me it would be gas money, ice cream money, whatever. It's just a different stream of income, and getting a name in the school boards also for workshops that I want to bring to the table for them, and having a footing to be able to offer also this assessment, and for people to get to know me. It's like, oh, it's just this girl, yeah, she wrote now what, but she also has this imagination for kids. Um, but that, coming
I love
back to the messenger skill set, I didn't go to school to write books. I didn't go to school for
Right.
storytelling. It just, I don't know how across my life it happened, but it happened. And what I,
But this is what you're embracing. You're finding these things that come natural to you, and they have purpose because they're for other people and they don't feel like work to you. That's so beautiful.
what I do remember is that since a very young age, my mom would say, "You talked, you talked, and you never stopped. And when if you ever stopped, you sang." And it
Yeah.
was from the moment you opened your eyes till the moment you went to sleep, you talked.
Mhm.
And until I went to school where it was very strict and very silent, but then I started writing, and I would write stories for myself that I will just dump in the garbage, dump in the garbage, dump in the garbage, dump in the garbage, and poems, because that's how I would express my feelings. Poems, dump in the garbage. And for me, it was a escape to read, to write. And even though for many years I didn't speak much, my teachers will always push me, even though I thought I was an introvert and I was very shy and I was very fearful
I'm
of
surprised.
being in front of the class, to the point that I would stutter. My teachers would
Interesting.
push me to present in class, and I hate it.
Wow.
With all of my heart, I dreaded
You love
it. But they will just push me and voluntold I will present, voluntold I will be given the most difficult things to recite and learn and push, because and you know what? Every single one of them, when I come back and complain to them, "Why are you doing this to me? Do you hate me?" They will say, "Because it's in you. Because when I talk to you in person, I see that you have the capacity of going in front. So you need to overcome that. And I want you to present because you have the intelligence to present." And there was a teacher
so you
that pushed me
that.
overboard. And I tell you, I was just so angry at her, my immunology teacher. And till this day, I'll always remember that lady, Miss Arsheli Rojas, because she made me present 5 times. Because I would present and she said, "No, it's not good enough. You present again. No, it's not good enough. You present again." And she was right. It was, but it's as good as the other students. And she said, "You're not as good as the other students. I know what is in you. I've
Oh,
seen it, and I want you to deliver." And I was like, "What are you talking about, lady? You're just getting on my nerves. I have exams to prepare, and you want me to go more than this?" And she says, "Yes, I know it's inside of you. And if you don't push it out, you'll continue to repeat that class for as long as it takes, because I know what you're capable of."
hmm.
And she looked at me and she was serious. And I said, and then I was just feeling very angry, upset, distraught at the same time, and anxious. And she said, and then she looked at me with such kindness and love, and she said, "I believe in you. I do this because I believe in you." And that just, it was like a straight to my heart. And I said, "Well, she's not evil. She's not evil. She's not trying to
Hmm.
take my time and destroy me." And then I said,
Keep talking. Husband a tracking number. Go ahead.
"Okay, man, she has seen something I don't know. I haven't seen. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna push myself beyond anything I can imagine." And finally, when I did it the
It's too
fifth
bad she.
time, she said, "That's exactly what I was looking for. I'm proud of you."
Wow.
And then the teachers would take me to volunteer me again, voluntold to do the conferences. They'll give me the revision articles about difficult subjects and said, "You're preparing this for the the physicians conferences." Uh, and yeah, and at the end of the conference, it would say, "I want your presentation." But I never studied
So she was trying
it.
to develop resilience in you by making you feel like a failure, which is, I don't know if that's the right way, but that was obviously what she was trying to do.
She her method may have not been the best,
Right.
but it was the last phrase that I believe in you. And that was has been so rare in my life that it really got me.
Stuck.
It really, but still, because I dreaded it so much, I never thought that that would be my strongest skill set ever.
Mhm. Yeah, that's amazing.
Um,
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
then no, don't apologize. When I thought you were taking notes. Then
No, I have a tracking number to my husband here.
when I became a believer, something amazing happened. The moment I received the baptism of the Holy Spirit, all that the shyness and nervousness and anxiety left.
I was going to ask you what
That's what
changed.
changed. It was the baptism of the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
And I discovered that was the moment where I started enjoying speaking in public. It was like a complete light
Yeah,
switch. It was a complete on and off.
because it's not about yourself. It's because it's more purpose, I think. Because I'm very introverted, and I still am extremely introverted. I don't need people hardly at all. Like I can stay out here in the jungle for a week and not talk to
Oh,
anybody, and
that would
I'm
drive
good.
me crazy.
But I know most people are like, it's really pretty out here, but I could never live here. And I'm like, I could never live in the city again. I used to love it visiting the cities, but I'm very happy. I went with Eric last week. I went to see a friend, and I hadn't left the house for like 3 weeks, and I was perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy here. Thank goodness for what's happened to me to cause me to stay home. I'm the one.
Yeah, have
I'm
you seen
good.
the meme that goes like,
But oh yeah,
"You
I
can
really
keep your
love being
solitude to
alone.
yourself. Enjoy."
My husband has to leave. He's always calling everybody saying, "Will you go over and hang out with Julie?" And I'm like, please
Oh,
don't do that. Please don't do that. That's my chance to be alone, because then people hang out and they feel like they need to stay. And I'm like, that was my one chance to be
yeah, I know.
alone. But I finally got over my fear of speaking in public. I mean, I used to go in the bathroom and vomit in school when they would make us
So do
do
I.
speeches. Really sick. But I think it was my girlfriend's wedding when I officiated her
Mm.
wedding. While I was preparing, I was so nervous, and I finally thought, this is not about me. Nobody cares about me. I always put couples right in front of
Mm.
me, and I'm like, if any nobody in the entire room, they're thinking about them, and it's really um, your own ego to think that anybody's thinking about how good did she speak, how does she sound, was it eloquent, is anyone going to be talking about me after the wedding, or even thinking about me at all? Absolutely not. I didn't want to mess it up. I was thinking, oh, I don't want to mess it up for them, but really the truth is it's not about me.
Mm.
And finally I got through my head, about you at all. It has zero to do with you. You get to be right here, this close in front of this beautiful moment. So why don't you just enjoy it? And I loved it. It was so much fun. I did start crying, but it was fine. I started crying and we hugged, and it was so great. And I loved doing weddings from then on. I don't do them much anymore, but it was beautiful. And since then, like coming on live, and doing stuff because it's for a reason. I want to help people. I try to reach out to people, and I don't need it. I don't need to come on to do things, but even if one person hears something that's helpful for them,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Now, still standing in front of a crowd is not really comfortable for me, but I do not. I hear people a lot say, "It looks like you're having so much fun on social media." It's not for me. I do not need attention. I need zero attention. I feel like that I'm supposed to do it to reach out to others because I know a lot of people are feeling and going through the same things. And I'm really not shy because I'm really, really over the what does someone think about
Mm-hmm.
me? How do they feel about me? Are they going to make fun of me? I don't care. I honestly, honestly don't care. I really don't. And I feel that I don't just feel it, I know it because people will write to me and say that was really helpful. I needed to hear that. If one person needs to hear something and it helps, it's worth me doing it. Like you and I talk like this on the phone.
Yes.
And so we just started saying, why don't we just go on live and let people hear the conversation? Maybe it will help someone because this is actually how we talk.
Yes. Yes.
Just
There's
when we're
no
with
script.
each other,
We
talk
just
about the same
we just
stuff.
said we'll talk
We
again about purpose and about how important it is to know yourself. And
Right. We didn't plan. Obviously, we don't plan what we're talking about. And I tried to kind of ask you today, and she wouldn't. She wouldn't give me anything.
no,
She
because
said, "Just turn it on."
it will not be organic. You
Yeah.
have the capacity as your intellectual. I know that you have the capacity to bring stuff to the table like that. So you don't need a script,
Yeah.
Julie. And it will not be authentic
Out.
if you rehearse yourself. And it will, there's something that we cannot fake. And that's our micro expressions that we're sharing through the camera. People can read you. If you're fake, if you're rehearsed, if you're acting, they can read you. So if it's not in you and you don't
Right.
have the authority of what you're saying, it will just completely show on it. If unless you're a really good actor and you have a really good director and a really good editor, right?
I'm not an actor for
So,
sure.
and I know that it is very difficult. If you're not a liar, and I am not, I suck at lying. You just cannot. It shows in my face if I ever try. It's like, you'll see it. You'll see it
Yeah.
immediately. You'll feel it. There will be a shift in the atmosphere even before I even think of it. It will be the tension, the everything. And I think it is the same with you. Some personalities can,
Yeah.
and some people can to a
I know.
certain degree, but the micro
My mom.
expressions will always show. They'll always show,
Yeah.
and it's there. It's sad and it's bad. So we're talking about purpose and how important it is for relationships this time, and for knowing our
Mhm.
boundaries. I know that my daughter trained me to deal with introverts, and also my family trained me to deal with introverts. You need your space.
Yeah.
And many times, as extroverts, we think, oh, poor little girl, she's so alone. Look, she's spending so much time alone. She must be depressed. Oh my goodness, I'm going to
We don't.
this social thing. Come with us. And then she will say, no, I'm fine. It's like, oh my goodness, that must be a mental health issue, right? And we're trying to just
No.
pull them out of the house because that's so antisocial. But it's not antisocial. Antisocial means it's a dark trait. Here it is. She needs her space to recharge. She's happy.
It's the
Even so, when I say, "Oh, I'm going out," she says, "Take the little one," and she's in the house. And I can imagine her in the middle of the living room, going with her arms like this, like the Sound of Music. The fields are alive,
I do see myself in the house with the dog.
and laughing her guts out, going like, "Yeah, they're gone,
We're not
they're
unhappy
gone."
when we're alone. We're quite happy to do.
But actually, if I ever sneak peek through the window, which I do sometimes, she's just there with her headphones, just chilling and going through an intellectual rabbit hole without interruption. And her being a teacher without interruption is key.
Yeah.
Something that, as a teacher, they will detest and trigger them over measure is when you interrupt their groove. They're intellectual
Even my dog is mad
through.
when they
They're in
interrupt.
the zone.
Yeah.
They're vibing in their mind. You know,
Yes.
their brain is going whoop 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 whoop, and then they get lost
Exactly.
for
So
hours.
good
You
you
can be there
understand.
for hours and not eat. And then there's this mom,
Yeah.
extroverted mom, saying, "Oh my gosh, she must be
What's
hitting a
wrong?
new level of depression because she's not eating, and she's there on her phone with her headphones. What is she doing?
Oh,
Oh my goodness!" Call the psychologist. No, she's just a teacher,
she's charging her battery.
and she's
Yep,
recharging
she's
her
charging her
battery,
battery.
and her brain is going, "Yay!" She's grooving inside. And then mom comes and interrupts because of mental health. Oh, honey, let's
Check
go
her. Yeah.
outside. Look at the sun. And she just glares at me, and before the purpose factor, she'll just give me the evilest eye. And then my inner dialogue will go, "This is worse than I thought. Oh my gosh, what have I done? I have failed as a mother." Oh,
So it helps.
tears
Is that
inside, trying to hold on the tears and tearing up. And then she will, because she's really, really empathetic. She will see the tear up and she'll say, "Okay, fine." And that's compassion for her mother that doesn't understand her in that moment.
I do that
And
too.
then,
I will go to please people. Just I'll go and be social when I don't need it. Just for but now Eric understands me. He's like, "Do you want to get out, honey, and go to the beach and get something to eat?" And I'm like, "I can, sure." Yeah. And he's like, "Do you need it?" Or and I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, I just thought maybe you needed to get out of the house." I'm like, "I don't need to get out of the house. I'm good. I'm happy."
so now that I know that she's a teacher and an intellectual and an introvert, I go, "Honey, do you need my me time? I'm gonna go. Do I take the little one, or can I go on my own? Because also moms need her me time. Even extroverts need that. I'm not without the kids time. Me walking by myself time also, even though I'm in the 1%
Yeah.
super extroverted type. It doesn't accept me from me needing those 15 minutes of gathering myself.
Yeah. You need 15 minutes. I need like 12
And Sophia
hours.
needs 3 weeks. I'm
Yeah.
exaggerating. It's just 3 days. After social interaction, it's about 3 days before she comes back to her center.
I went to India with my whole family. Well, my mom and my 4 kids, and I used to go there with all the kids lived at the orphanage. And at night, I'd go in my room to recharge. And so we were all in the same room, and I had to share a twin bed with my daughter. And at night, I'd get up to be alone because it was just so much people. And I would be up on my computer just having some alone time, and my mom would wake up and she'd say, "What are you doing awake? You gotta get to sleep. We had a big day tomorrow." I just one day I just went down. I got up early and I went down in the cafeteria or the little lunchroom, and the lady had made some coffee, and I just burst into tears. I just was crying like I just need to be alone. And she came and was hugging me and wiping my face.
I
And I'm
want
like,
to
"Leave me alone."
be alone.
I would just stay up at night just to be awake. That's what I did when I had the four
You know,
kids. I'd get up at
I
night.
get
I'd
like
stay up
that
late when they went to
when I'm alone
bed.
at home for too long, for about a day. I'll just start tearing up
Yeah.
and go like, "Oh my gosh, I just people. Where's the people?" It's the opposite.
That's how my mom
And
was. She was extroverted, so she did not understand that I was just. And these are the people I love most in the world. But it was just like I felt like I couldn't breathe because I needed just
yeah,
quiet and nobody talk. My husband's introverted too, so we do well because we'll just sometimes he'll just go in the living room and I'll go in the bedroom, or we can be in the same room because we just won't talk. We understand each other, but man, I struggle. I could never. I have with my one other introverted friend, but travel with a woman and share a room, it's like absolutely
I
no,
wouldn't share a room with you. I would drive you
absolutely.
crazy, and I know it. And the same thing with Sophia. It's
You would
hard. It's hard on her.
try it. Yes, it's hard because it's like, what are we gonna do? Like, who's going to take if someone's going to take the remote, or if I'm going to read, and then I feel the obligation to
And she does
speak,
too. She's a
even
dog, and when she hugs me, because she's not a touchy person, I need to remind myself when she hugs me spontaneously, it counts like 100 hugs.
yeah, I
I
am
am I
touchy
am a
person.
touchy person, and I love when people give me, and I can feel the sincere hugs. It just woof woof. It's one of the main love languages that I have. And Sophia is not. So can you imagine when I had her? It was like, oh my! I thought that was the worst mother in the world. Either that or the kid is broken. But I was just saying, okay. And then I read a book, and I think it is Butzma that wrote it, or it's called A Shepherd in a Children's Heart. And it talks about how
Mm-hmm.
our children can be completely different than us, and that our job is to discover who they are and to respect that. That's the summary of the book. So I said, okay,
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with the kid, because scripture says that God gives perfect gifts. She's a perfect gift. She's not broken.
she's perfect.
So am I a
Uh-huh.
terrible mom? Well, let's revise that. And when that book came into my hands, it's like, oh, she's just different. She's just different.
I will say something I need to say, because I just got busted by my daughter, but I'm not busted. I will tell you something on social media. I don't know how it works. I really don't. But last night, when my daughter sent me a message, and she might be listening, and that's okay. I just want to tell you, honey, how this works, because
Hello,
this happens to me
hello,
all the
daughter
time.
of Julie. I love you by extension. I don't know you.
It's
I say it in
not about
heart.
her. It's about what happens, and any of you introverts will know what I mean. I was watching Friday or Saturday and Sunday. I really take my break. I need 2 days a week, not just one, because I'm healing. So I was watching. I like to watch YouTube videos. I don't like to do social media stuff because it's so much scroll. It's just not mentally healthy for me. So I watch YouTube videos. Either something spiritual or something I want to learn, podcast or something. So I was doing that after 2 o'clock. I did not look at social media, but apparently it's
Mhm.
on. So my phones did look at them. I probably had it open in a tab, but she sent me a message at like 7 that said, "Hey, can you talk at?" Or no, maybe it was 5. I don't know when, but she said, "Can you talk at 7:30?" So I get it this morning. I said, "Yeah, that's great," thinking it's tonight. And she said, "Mom, you blew me off. That was last night." And I'm like, she's like, "I saw you on social media." I'm like, "I wasn't." But I don't know how it works, but apparently it appeared that I was on social media. And
Your
that's what
phone.
happens to me a lot. People will say, I saw you on," and I'm like, "I was not." But a lot of times too, if or the second I get on, my phone starts pinging, and I'm like, "I just grabbed my phone.
Yeah.
I just need to check my email." And people are like, "I saw you online. I saw you
Oh
online,"
my
or they're like,
gosh.
"You've been doing it all week. I see you healthy," and I'm like, "Okay, first of all, I've been in bed for 3 days, but when I feel good, I'll make like 10 videos
You're in
because
bed.
um, they want you to keep them consistent, because if we don't network, we don't have any
Mhm.
business. Okay, that's the reality. So I create a lot, and then I put them. I'm not trying to be deceptive. I'm just trying to be consistent. I put them out. I might have had 3 very bad days and just put them out. But it's like people make their decisions on what you're doing and how you're doing based on your social media,
On
which is not
appearances.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Hey, but I saw you were online. I saw you were online." And it's like, I wasn't. I'm really telling the truth. So please, and then sometimes I will be online and I'm watching a podcast, or what do you call them? A
Hmm.
live, and I'm zoned out, and there's no way in the world I can talk. There is no way I can have a conversation, but I am watching a live and listening to people, because introverts, when we say we're going to bed, it doesn't mean we're going to sleep. It means we have like a 4 hour prep time to sleep, and we may be watching, we might be scroll, and then we may just watch and not touch. But it doesn't mean we're in the shutdown period, and we cannot have a conversation or
No.
text. But we're not ignoring. We're not ignoring. Our brain has already shut. Social has been shut
Yep.
down, but observing is still going. and I have gotten called out so many times, like, but I saw you and you ignored me, and I
Oh,
feel so bad.
yeah.
But I'm
But
trying
it's
to understand
your
because people
mental
don't
energy
understand
is
that introverts
different, and it's something that
talk. Where I finish a
yeah.
podcast, and
I'll
then
need to
yeah,
leave
I'll
you
finish the
in
podcast.
about 3 minutes because then I need to go pick up my daughter,
Yeah,
my youngest. But Sophia has become so good at communicating her boundaries and her needs. As a mom,
yeah,
you don't
that's
have,
good.
when you have young kids, that much of a buffer or a chance to place those boundaries because you're nurturing and you self-sacrifice,
Right,
and that's your role as a mom. The younger your kids are,
right.
you're a self-sacrificial mom, and that's normal. It's your hormones, your
Yeah,
oxytocin, and everything. Your brain is geared that way. But I think that the
yeah.
challenge that she will have as an introverted mom when the time comes is now there's going to be boundaries because now you're older.
Right.
That risks of but before it wasn't like that. It's like sorry honey, it's just that now you're older, now you understand, you need to understand that I did that because you were younger and you were depending on me and I needed to self-sacrifice. And even as an
Right.
extrovert,
And
I have had those
too,
conversations
if
with
they
Sophia where I say, sorry honey, you're 16, you can do these chores and participate in the house. Oh, but you have me, that's your problem. And I said, no, 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 it's not my problem, it is actually your problem, because I could decide, okay, you just go live on your own and do everything for yourself. I could just be fed up and it's not illegal. So the thing is that you don't want to go that way, and I don't want you to go that way. Don't push me. And that's my extroverted bold. Don't push it. Okay? And she says, oh mom, you're scary when you walk. And I said, I'm just direct. Okay? Don't push me. Just
it's just
know that, and you know that in the reality we live in, it's a possibility and we don't want to go there. And the way to not go there is to participate and work as a team. And you don't work as a team
right,
if you don't want to do the chores. You're going to make money and pay someone to do your chores. Mm,
right. Because adults do have to self-sacrifice. We
that
must, and
and
mothers
you
of
and
little
she says, I
children
don't want
must
to adult, I want to be a
sacrifice.
kid for longer. And I said,
Too bad.
at least you weren't
Too
parental.
bad. Yeah, right.
You're just sharing your chores or your own for your own good. So in this case, with the
Exactly.
boundaries of Sophia, is that she has the capacity of telling me, "Mom, I know I'm here, bodily present, but today, because I'm going to share with Sophia, create the bond, connection. Yay! I love you. I love you. I love you. Heart, heart, heart. Love, 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 love." And she's like, and even some shows, she'll say, "Mom, that's a psychological drama." No, because you like to have a discussion over that. No,
Yeah. Yeah. The
no.
talk after.
You need to watch your own show for your own pleasure. Don't get me involved. Okay? Because I'm here recharging. Okay? And
That's
she
good.
will just be feeding herself on information, and her brain is going sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows everywhere. And she's there. And I was like, oh, but she's here. Why she doesn't want to connect? And my inner dialogue before knowing what an introvert needs was like, oh, am I a terrible mom? Why is she rejecting me so much? Oh,
Right? And that's what happens.
she's
So
rejecting me. She doesn't love me anymore. No, that's not it. You just pestering them and peck, 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 peck. Not. I wasn't being respectful of her space. And then there is
right. That's what
all the other
introverts.
people saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with her. There's something wrong." Oh, blah blah blah. And I was like, "Leave her alone. She's just chilling.
Yeah.
You leave her alone." And I have become her defender. Just leave her alone. She needs her space, and she'll come back and connect to me when the time comes. That's it. Simple.
Yeah. It's so good that you do that, that you understand that, because introverts feel so guilty because we know we hurt people, but we just can't. We often that they don't have the energy or they don't know how to express the boundaries, they'll just go away
Yes.
and block people out of their life because they know they hurt people, but they just can't keep up.
And the
We just
and the moment
can't.
you
Don't have
realize
the
you
energy.
need the boundary, you're already spent. And maybe you don't have the mental energy to express it correctly. And it will come across as a trigger. And it's the worst thing.
Right. For everyone that's right, people that are triggered by rejection, which is the biggest thing that people have is the rejection issues. People are easily triggered by rejection. That an introvert is, it's not about you, really. It's not. It's no rejection on you. It's just an
Oh, there's
energy
someone
problem.
asking, hi, do you have a story from IRL when people were walking in line and someone suddenly stopped and everyone bumped into each other? What is IRL?
I don't know what is
I don't know what
IRL.
IRL is.
Simona, what is IRL?
But if people bumped into each other here in Canada, everybody says, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and it's over.
In India, it's completely normal.
and sometimes in
They don't even call
Mexico,
it a
everybody will
line. It's
laugh
a
and say,
cue.
"Oh, okay, we'll take it with humor." And some other
Yeah.
places in the world, it would be like, "No, no." It depends on the culture, I would
Yeah.
say.
Some parts of the world, it's called a cue because it's not a line. It's just a squishing into the same space, and it's
Oh,
totally
it's
normal to have
so
everybody's.
rude here in Canada. They do that here. The new Indians that are coming, and we detest it with all of our hearts, and we say these brown people have no civility because we
Oh,
ourselves in Canada, it's understood that even if there is no line, we know who came first. We pay attention. We don't need to queue. We don't. We
it's a,
just wait and we know. And also, age will play into allowing age people to go before us. So we just know who can. We observe, and it's implied that we have to observe and respect the order. So we don't even need to line up. It's the
yeah.
cultural thing.
I don't
It's
know
very
what I have.
respectful. So that comes. That's oh my god, it has robbed us in the wrong way, and especially because it's not their house. It's not the Canadian way.
I don't. I don't know the IRL, but anyway, I'll let you go get your
Okay,
daughter.
see you later.
We'll talk.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.